This is one of my favorite subjects. I'm so glad you asked. The rapture was made up by a man named John Nelson Darby in the 1830s. If you were to ask anybody who claimed to be a Christian, what do you think about the rapture before 1830? They would have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. It was made up in the 1830s. One of Darby's colleagues was a guy named Cyrus Scofield, also known as C.I. Scofield, the originator of the Scofield Chain Reference Bible. It was the first Bible of that kind ever created, and it became a staple in the personal library of every single seminary student across the world. And what do you think Scofield's reference Bible had in it? The rapture, as well as the majority of what is known as futurist dispensationalist eschatology. So Darby creates the concept, but Scofield is the one who spread it across the world. And in the larger context of futurist dispensationalist eschatology, it's never really been successfully challenged on a grand scale because it's easier to make money when you scare the shit out of everybody. Everybody has heard of the Left Behind series. I want you to know the Left Behind series has sold a total of 80 million copies. My wife did not grow up in church, but she read the Left Behind series. When she read it, she did not think that it was something Christians believed. She thought it was fiction. But of course, we know Christians take it as documentary or as fact. The scriptural references used to support the rapture are absolutely ridiculous. If you study the rapture and its origins, you are on a collision course with a theological subject known as hermeneutics. Hermeneutics is the way that you interpret the Bible. And there's a reason that hermeneutics are never taught from the platform in churches. Because if you learn how inconsistent and ridiculous hermeneutical approaches are by most pastors and most leaders in the church, you'd stop giving your money and you'd never go back. If you read the Bible with what is known as a historical contextual hermeneutic, where you're always aware of who this passage is written by and who it's written to, and the historical and geographical context of that passage, you will never land in the place of, oh, the rapture is real. No, you can't get there. Just one example. In Thessalonians, Paul is describing, we shall all be changed, meet him in the air, blah, blah, blah. That passage has classically been preached like it's talking about the rapture. It can easily be argued he's just describing the final resurrection before the return of, the final return of Jesus. To say that those passages in Thessalonians are a direct reference to the rapture, it does violence to the text. Remember, no first century Christian had ever heard of the rapture. It wasn't made up until nearly the Civil War in the United States. We have to learn to reverse engineer a lot of these theological concepts because there's a hell of a lot more that's been made up than most Christians like to admit.